What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Firm Podcast. You already know, man. We got Nick in the building. We got Charles. What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's happening, everybody? What's going on?
Man, it feel like it's been a long time, man.
Hey, boy, busy summer, bro.
Busy summer, man. Let's get right into it, man. How you feeling? Good summer for you?
Man, good, bro. Can't complain. Wonderful summer. Actually went by too fast. Like we were talking about earlier today, like it went by too fast, bro.
Yeah.
How about you?
Man, I had an amazing summer. I'm gonna brag. Can I brag a little bit? Is that okay?
Yeah, get on it.
You know, one of the things that you work hard to do as a father and as a husband and provider is to be able to create experiences for your family. And we kicked the summer off, man, with a cruise. You know, which may not be major for people, but to be able to take my whole family on a cruise, to be able to, have my kids go swimming in the ocean in the Bahamas was major for me. To watch them experience this. This is my first cruise, and I'm an adult, and they're going on their first cruise at 7 and 6. So, that was, to me, that was a major accomplishment. And they talked about it all summer long.
No, that's a good one. Let me ask you, it's even a question in there because I think you said something. You said it may not be major, something, but I think it's very major though because again, you got to do something for your family.
Yeah.
The fruits of your labor. Somebody got to experience that.
Yeah.
How was it? Just seeing your family, sometimes just sitting back. I think I told you the episode a while back. Like my grandfather's thing was, he just loved to watch us eat because he was a farmer. So how was that for you? Like watching them just like swim in those experiences.
It was that exact same feeling. It was that exact to just be sitting out on the beach under a tent and watching them come in and out of the water without a care in the world. And he'll go the other part about it that we don't even think about, but to not even be worried about what was happening at home and know that they were just enjoying themselves at a new level, right? I got a picture in my phone where, Frank, the young boy Frank, is like sitting in the window on the ship, and he's just looking out at the water as the ship move along. And for me, that was major because it's an opportunity to just create moments of peace in their life, right? And there's no chaos. There's nothing that they have to worry about. They're not, focused on whether or not they're going to be harmed or hurt or they're going to go hungry and all this other kind of stuff. So that same feeling you talk about your grandfather had, that's the exact same feeling I had. Plus, every time they got to tear that ice cream machine up, oh, boy, they were taking Carnival up through there.
Boy, I told you, hey, every time I get a chance, I love cruising, bro. Ain't nothing better than it, man.
Hey,
it's
man.
relaxing. I think sometimes for me, I hate that I didn't do it till like my mid-30s, bro. I'm like, oh, I should have been doing this.
Oh, well, what?
This the move.
Listen, it was definitely amazing. I'm looking for the next one before we landed from this one. Before we got back to port for this one, I was looking for the next one.
Don't go past 4 days, though.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to do that.
Yeah, don't go past 4 days.
And we got spoiled too because we made it up until the very last night without even feeling and knowing the boat was moving. But we were at a show that last night and the boat was moving a little bit. Me and my wife looking at each other, we trying to figure out what's going on. And the people on stage ain't even flinched. They still performing. I'm like, well, it can't be major, but for us, it was like we knew the boat moving.
Oh, they probably seen worse, bro.
Yeah, I can't do worse. Worse, they're gonna have to call the Coast Guard and bring the helicopter and get me up out of here. I'm heading back to shore for worse.
But see, I'm saying, you hit me with something too. I think even when we talk about the summer too, just recapping, this summer was unique for me because my baby worked this summer.
Ooh,
so Peyton had her first job, man.
How was that?
You know what? It was one of those moments to where I kind of like, wow, I've been in this fatherhood game for a minute.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like, you know how you have these moments in this journey where you're like, man, she was just born yesterday. Or your child was just born yesterday. And you're like, wow, okay, we're at this phase. So I think just seeing her go through the process was just like, I don't know, it's like a moment of joy. Like I can't really describe it. I just know I love the process. I love seeing her just grow and just be independent and her take her job serious and her just really just being very passionate about what she was doing. I think seeing her work with young people gave her a different perspective for the career of people who work with children.
Yeah.
Because she got a chance to, she's like, Dad, some of these kids bad. Dad, they don't listen. I'm like, look at heard that before. I know that firsthand.
Yeah.
But seeing her do that, but then seeing her just kind of learn how to balance her money, because I think her first check, she didn't blow through it, but she spent some money on food. And she realized like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, no, I'm gonna start making my sandwich. I'm gonna start bringing this or that. I gotta start packing my lunch. So seeing just those little adjustments, because that allowed her to also see what we go through as parents. Like, okay, how we have to make adjustments. Hey, how you have to decide, do you really want this? Because it was even like some shoes she wanted during the summer. She like, man, they cost too much. Oh, no, they cost too much when it's your money. But when it's my money,
It's in the text message.
yeah, hey, I don't see the problem in buying these shoes.
Right away.
So I love that, but I love that for her more than anything, just seeing her grow And I think just watching her through this process and just seeing her, I gotta save my money to do this, that, I can't wait till I work again. So, man, I loved it. And I think the funny thing is, I often laugh and I tell parents this all the time. Your kids may not know math no other time, but during the summer, they know their math. Mm-hmm. They know their math, and they know how to get up on time.
That's right.
Because they know, hey, I got to go get this money.
I got to go to work. So
I think that was my win. But then I think the other win was watching her little sister try to be like the big sister. Mm. So Peyton would put on her work shirt every day, and Amara just had some of the work shirts just because. It's
friends benefits. Yeah. She got the benefits.
So Amari started wearing the work shirts to camp.
Yeah.
Because Amari wanted people to see her as she worked there. Because of her sister, she was like, I got to be the example. I got to do these things. I got to have my clipboard. So she just wanted to be just like her sister. So it was love. It was just beautiful to see that journey. So
I got two questions came up for me. We talked about this on the show, right? But the importance of time, especially summers, when we think about it. You think about sort of these critical adolescent years, we basically get 18 summers with our kids. Yeah. Technically, your daughter just finished her 14th summer. Yeah. How does that feel, though? Like, you say you see her work, but if you put it in the context of the 18 that you get in terms of time, and this being number 14, how do you, like, you get closer to a few more summers, it'll be that college send-off.
I think about that sometimes because, again, I think it's surreal.
Yeah.
Because that's my baby.
Yeah.
That's my baby. And I can't, sometimes I still look at her like a little girl. Mm-hmm. But I think it's getting real for me because now I'm starting to have different type of conversations and those expectations are trying to show up a little bit different now because I'm trying to get her in the mindset think, hey, I'm gonna be here, but you're gonna be on your own. You know, like you said, those 18 summers, I'm 14.
Yeah.
I got about 4 more of these, really 3.
Yeah. Really.
I'm gonna say really 3.
Yeah.
You know, but it's different. It's different. But you know, I'm excited. I think the same way I'm fearful, I'm more excited than fearful because I love to see her journey.
That's good.
I just love to see who Peyton is becoming. I love to see her coming into her own. I think and I'm gonna tell you one of the crazy things is, and it happened to me so many times this summer. That's why I'm so thankful for the summer because she was just with me every day. I think just having those conversations on the way home, just like, okay, that's how you think? Okay.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I was about to ask you about that, right? Because we had an example where, you know, some of her friends had got a little frustrated through, you know, during the moment, the flag football. They got a little frustrated. And, you know, me and Trav got an opportunity to see her interact and show her leadership. And we were able to tell you about it. How did it feel hearing that some of the stuff you have been teaching her and the way that you've been communicating with her, to know that she absorbed it enough that she was able to use it in that moment? How did that feel as a dad? It's like,
you know what, man? Honestly, y'all don't even know it, man, but y'all made my day. Because so many times as a parent, and you probably can attest to this, we want to do are they even listening?
Man.
Are they even listening? Mm-hmm. So to hear you guys come back and tell me that, I'm like, okay, wow. That was confirmation. It was kind of more like, you know, we use the phrase of that Gatorade through this marathon. That was that Gatorade. Like y'all had just like, y'all don't even know, but y'all had poured like the Gatorade on me like I won a championship. Like, okay, woo, we getting it. We getting it. Okay, she's understanding. Because so many times, and Peyton is my child where she's very like quiet. She never gonna really say too much, so you really don't know if she is or she isn't getting it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's both of them, but Amara's a little bit more vocal than she is. But with Peyton, when you guys told me that, I was like, okay, wow, we getting somewhere with this.
Nah, that's real.
So I was ecstatic, bro. Y'all don't even know, man.
Listen, I can imagine it had to be a great moment, man. But I think that carries us too to what we've been talking about, even in this episode in particular. One of the things that I've heard parents say they struggle with, we know it's a challenge firsthand, whether it's the young people we work with and our parents, is communicating with our kids. Yeah. And when we think about communicating with our kids, I'm going to just be the first one to say that I think oftentimes as parents, we say we're communicating with our kids, but if our supervisor communicated with us the way we communicate with our kids sometimes, we would almost say we work in a hostile work environment. Think about that. So it's like, are we really communicating with them, or are we constantly telling them things? So let's get into that for a minute, right? Because I mean, we had this conversation really before we got into it. It's like, how often do we just tell our kids things, and expect for them to get it? But are we really creating space to communicate with them, to make sure that we're having a dialogue that they also feel valued in? That's it. Do they feel valued in that conversation?
I'm gonna say this.
Oh, come on.
No, I think they're more valued than we were.
Oh no, we definitely softer than iPad. Call it.
Yeah.
You call it. You said more valued, softer.
Yeah, because the thing is, nobody cared about what you felt.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start there first. Like when we were kids, nobody cared. I told you what I need for you to do. That's it. I don't care how you feel about it, how you feeling. I didn't ask you that. You could be having the worst day ever. Nobody even asked you that. I told you, Charles, some dishes need to be washed. I don't care that you have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
All I know is the dishes better be washed when I get home.
So before we go too far, because there was value in that, right? There was a level of tenacity and toughness that we learned because of that approach. But I feel like there's also some stuff we left on the table that we had to develop as an adult. So real quick, I ain't gonna even say real quick. That's a whole another episode in of itself. Is there a perfect blend of this soft parenting we doing, along with the toughness way we raised up? Because I just call a spade a spade. I'm having a conversation with my wife and Blake respond. I say, 2 adults were talking. I don't remember saying Blake.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
But we wouldn't have gotten them words. Somebody would have been hitting you in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that would have been your reminder.
Yeah.
But we're trying to I don't think it's wrong with us trying to evolve and do things at a higher level. But are we losing some of the lessons in it?
I don't think you lose them because I think certain old school principles are just in you. Because I think I try to pattern or either model old school parenting and new school parenting.
Okay. Because
times have changed. I think sometimes I try to model it because I knew what I would have probably wanted my mom to say something, allow me to say something.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like you think you were just told what to do. Nobody said, hey, you couldn't say, Mom, well, can I tell my side? You wouldn't, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Nobody cared how you feel.
Which brings us back to that feeling valued in the conversation.
Yeah. So it's like with our kids now, I try to make sure I do provide that space. But again, sometimes that space sometimes that space can almost get disrespectful. See, that's the slippery slide of it.
Yeah.
Because again,
you got to put them checks in play.
Sometimes when I say something, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And see,
which that's healthy for them.
Yeah.
They need a level of do what you told.
Yeah, but see, we always was do what you told.
Yeah. Okay.
See, it wasn't no gray area.
But you saying it right now though. You creating balance. It's like you creating this. Basically, the fact that every situation is not the same. Some stuff I'm gonna break down to you.
It isn't. Go ahead.
Some stuff I might break down to you as a child, but some stuff you just need to do what you told. But you need to be able to read the room. Like I'm giving you skill. You need to read the room.
But I think our kids are great. I will say this. I think our kids are way smarter than we ever were.
Yeah.
No disclaimer, nothing bad about our kids. They just don't have the common sense that we had. See, they can't. Their ability. They
read the room.
They can't read the room.
Yeah, that's real. I could go for that, and I make that comment all the time. I'm get this example, and then we gonna get right back to it. It's back to school time. We out school shopping, and we walking through, the kids looking at stuff on the wall, and I heard this mama say to her son, something to the effect of, what you think about this one right here, and then all I know is the young man responded with, "Hey, kid look like us now, so this don't even think this somebody in a whole nother group or racial identity. Little boy look like us." The boy say, "But Mama, I told you I ain't want that one."
See, I got scared.
Listen, this is how I knew. This was like a confirmation as a parent. My kids looked at me. They looked at me like, what say, "Mama, I told you I ain't want." My kids looked at me and say, and I had to all, because I wanted to really bad, say, "Hey man, you only get one of them. You only gonna get one of them. I don't care what you and your mama disagree with. You only gonna get one of them. That you can't do." But to your point about common sense, I'm like, man, I don't know if this brother don't understand. Because I could see his mama doing everything in her power not to lose it in this public setting.
But I would have had to lose it. See, I'm still from the old school where you kind of,
where you show out.
where you get, my granddad used to say something, my people used to always say, man, where you show out, you get wore out. You know what I'm saying? See, that's just what it was.
Yeah, that's
you
just
know,
what
that's
it
what it
was.
was. I mean, so but again, that wouldn't happen with me.
No, that's facts.
That wouldn't happen.
That's facts. But I just dropped that in there, right? Because you said we got great kids and that common sense piece. But let's get back to we always want to center ourselves in this space of what do we think, like what do you think did it in terms of when you see these success moments? What is it that we can share with somebody else to help them replicate that, so that they can have that success? So if let's say we use your example of you getting to hear that Peyton was a leader, and that she showed up, and you know that you've been talking to her. What is it that you think you can, if you had to give another parent a strategy about how you've been able to communicate, how you helped some of this land, maybe what you did differently as opposed to how you were raised, what do you think it would be?
The lay of land, I would just tell them to just trust the process. And I think you have to realize that you're sowing the positive seeds. Sometimes you don't see the fruits of your labor. You don't see it. And sometimes you just have to know that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think even through this parenthood, fatherhood journey, to me, it's like, bro, you got to find some strong spirituality, boy. Because again, your faith is what keeps you whole too. Because through that process too, you're gonna have some ups and downs because you wonder, are they getting it? And sometimes their actions show up as if they're not. And that could weigh heavy on your spirit too as a parent, because there's nothing worse as a parent than when you know you're doing everything you can. You're saying everything. You're checking all the boxes, but it's just not hitting right then. So that's why I even look at spirituality, because that spirituality is going to take you back to the table and say, okay, Charles, keep going. Nick, keep going. Hey, I got to keep trying. Because that's that piece that just keeps you getting up every day, that faith that, hey, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
So I think just trusting the process, but then also through that, when you see them do the things that you're, I guess, implementing in them, recognize those things.
Yeah.
Recognize them instantly, because they need to hear that too, because they need that reinforcement that they're being seen. Because it's much like, showing them to a job. If nobody ever says, hey, Charles, you're doing a great job, granted, you might not need it, but it feels good to hear it. And I think with children, these are young minds. These are adolescent minds. So they need somebody to say, you're doing a great job. Oh, Dad saw me do this. Or Mom saw me doing these particular things. So I would say just provide positive reinforcement.
I think that's
and
dope.
then with that too is continue, man, you got to still show up with a level of grace, bro. Because they're kids and they don't get it. Like, you had your struggles with certain things too. So you have to give them that little wiggle room, because I think even as parents too, we have to grow too through the process.
Yeah. Because
we're learning too at the same time. Because, hey, I think I was watching Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Okay.
And he said, I've been a dad what is kind of like as long as you've been alive.
So I learned to be a dad when you learn to be a daughter.
Yes, I'm learning too.
At the same.
So we're learning at the same time. So don't be too hard on yourself, but trust the process. But also remember too, you have to be willing to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Because the game is changing.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to adapt. And I think you have to marry old school and new school ways to get the best product. Because I think what we learned as kids, these are things that helped us through the process. So I think you have to marry those words, because these kids are different. Times are different. They have access to so many things that we did not have access to. And these things shape, like we were just talking about, you were just talking about with the cell phone. You start to really see some things about your child.
Yeah.
So that's what they're exposed to. So you're competing against the world. Yeah. And that's a hard win, but you got to trust it.
No, 100% fact. I think the other part about it, and I love all of those really specific points. Especially as you talk about trusting the process. But that trust the process implies that there's some consistency there, right? And I think that's the first point of it. It's like, okay, what's going to be my communication parameters? Like, how am I going to communicate? Here's what I learned in the process. And, maybe I'm a little later, and it's one of those things where I almost feel bad for my older kids, and I don't, because I know that that's what God intended for life to be like. But I know so much more now that I didn't know when they were early on. Like, I was more like, do this what I said, do what I said, boom, boom, boom. And I'm sure the older kids will say, man, you a little lighter on the younger kids. It's like, bro, but I know now. Yeah. Like, am I gonna bang my head against this wall? They children. They gonna mess up. They gonna understand it. And when you have your first kid, you young in the game, but everything is like this most of the time. Yeah. But after a while, you realize, you know what? Let me just be consistent. These other ones turned out pretty well. Let me just focus in on this. But here's the piece that I would add, I think, that we didn't touch yet about communicating with our children is one of the things that I had to learn. And I think it just happens over time. I don't think we approach communication with our children with the same level of intentionality that we approach communication with coworkers and adults. You know, and we talked earlier about them being valued in the conversation. It's almost that same thing like where you think about when you get a new coworker, you walk into a new environment, you trying to learn people, you trying to kind of understand personality, you trying to learn how people work best, especially let's say you walk in and you lead a group of people.
Yeah.
But with our children, we don't always think about it like that. We don't get that technical, right? And so for me, that level of analysis and being that technical has what's helped take my parents into a different level. Like the fact that even something as simple as communication, I may tell one of my children, here's the rule, don't break the rule. And that's good enough. I may tell another one, hey, here's the rule. Here's how you know when you get closer to the rule. And you about to cross the line. One of them needs that one. The other one needs, hey, here's the rule. If you break the rule, this is what happened, and this causes this, this, and this. So one of them may need the full roundabout, and the other one may just need to say, hey, you know what? You gonna hurt real bad if you don't follow everything I tell you, and that's good enough for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about if pain inflicted for me. I may just need to tell one of them, hey, this is what life's consequences are.
Yeah.
But the fact that I've had to develop a communication strategy, I'm telling you, man, being a parent is damn near like being a PR manager. You need a communication strategy. For every one of your children, okay, so this one I'm gonna have to tell this one like this. This one I need to give it to them this way. Like my values are the same across the board and they know. But for each one of them, it's like, okay, this one here is this way. This one on here, man, this one might just have to stick their finger in the socket. You know, damn it, this one just gotta get burned. Yeah. That's just what it is. Like you looking at them, child, that's probably the hardest moment as a parent, but it also will give you relief early on when you realize, you know what, that one just gotta touch the fire. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what do I need to do to be prepared to help them make it through this situation? But that was just going to touch it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you spot on because I think, you know, I'm a sports guy, so I look at parenting much like coaching. When you have players on your team, you have to find out what's going to make this player go. How do I do that? So even with parents, it's like I can't parent you the same way. You're going to receive a message different. But I just need for you to receive the message. You know what I'm saying? So I think you hit it out. I think you hit it out the park. Like different, bro. But it requires parents to show up different. Because that's why I would tell parents, you have to learn how to show up differently. It's gonna require you to do some self-work. If you can't do the work within self, you're not gonna get the best return on your investment because you're showing up one way. Yeah. You have to learn how to show up multiple ways and you have to be flexible in certain spaces. Yeah. And you have to understand, okay, this is gonna, like you said, what's gonna put you in the best situation? Okay, let me do this for you this way. Like you said, hey, someone got to touch the fire. They do. And then I got the parent after you touch the fire. I knew you were gonna touch, but you got to feel the fire.
I got to be here with Band-Aids now.
You got to do that. Yeah. And I got to be okay with that. Yeah. So I think it just again requires us to show up differently, man. And then again, we're growing and learning through the process together.
That's probably the biggest. That right there, that's showing up differently, especially as parents, right? Because we're adults, right? We locked in. Yeah. This willingness to show up differently so that our children will have, so that they can get what they need is a whole nother piece. Yeah. I want to get somewhere before we get out of here right now, right? One of the things that you and I have had the privilege to really work and focus in on is communicating with teenagers. Yeah. Like we're able to communicate with teenagers and have their parents say to us, hey, what you doing? Because they listening to you. They coming home telling me what you talking about. What do you think has been, and maybe this is a little on the spot, what do you think, and maybe this is like a one, it's like a, I don't know if it's a one thing or whatever, what do you think is the greatest sort of benefit with creating conversation or communicating with teenagers? And I'm not just saying talking that and giving them instructions, but like really communicating so that they can understand what you're saying and the why behind it. Like what makes it, because I think you do it at a really high level and we've had a chance to do that.
I think consistent and clear. I think a lot of times when we communicate, it's very consistent. You kind of already know what we're going to say because I think by doing that too, it registers in your brain. It's like, okay, these are their core principles that they're going to overly enforce. So they already know that. But then I think too, we're very clear about our expectations. So I think that's what helps you, one, with teenagers. But I think the other thing too is just seeing something in them. I think when we see you, we really see you. You know, and I think even if you look at some of the young boys we worked with this summer, and you know, a mom will call and say, "How do y'all get them to do this?" I'm like, "How don't you get them to do it?" Because again, we just see value, so we put them in, like, even like with the boys, putting them in leadership roles. Hey, this is your responsibility. So they don't want to let you down because they see, oh, he entrusted me with this particular task. So putting them in a space to where they can win. But see, that's the good thing too. We always put you in situations that showcase your skill set, your strengths, not your weaknesses. You know, and we'll work through your weaknesses because again, it's still like sports. I'm never going to put a player on the court and tell you to do something that you can't do. I have to let you play to your strengths, and then we develop your weakness and slowly move to that. Because if I put you in your weaknesses in the beginning, you're never going to think you can do anything else. So I think that's where we've been. But then too, I think relatability. I think being able to relate. When I see a young person, honestly, man, I really see myself. And even within that, it sounds cliche because we say it all the time, but we're inspiring the next generation. And they need us because, again, I can't give up on young people because, again, I was that kid. And I wouldn't have wanted somebody to give up on me. And sometimes it takes different people to really break through. And it, again, even if you go back to the old cliche, it takes a village. That's why even like with my kids, your kids, when they cross paths, they hear something and they receive something from you that I've been saying, I don't care. I just need for you to get it. And I'm thankful that Mr. Charles is part of my village. If he tells you something, you say, Mr. Charles told me, cool, I'm not offended. So I think that's the thing, that village mentality, but just truly seeing them, allowing them to be seen in the space. What about you, bro?
100%. I think something that I thought about, you know, even if you get this game analogy, is that we often play, you know, when we open up and we do our communication session when we're working with fathers in schools, and we highlight the importance of those different roles in the communication piece is the sender and the receiver. The most valuable opportunity is when the senders and receivers get to talk about what they felt when they were receiving either the instructions, or they get to talk about how they were receiving those instructions. To me, that's like that after action debrief. That's like the post game conversation. But the value in that is that we've got to give our kids opportunity to practice what it is we're teaching them. So if we're communicating about something, I'm a teacher. Like if I'm communicating to you about something, I got to think about this like a teacher. I got to be able to introduce the lesson. I got to give you an opportunity to practice it. And I also got to have even me thinking about it in this mindset of, do I have a process to evaluate what you're learning? So we can have that conversation where maybe we need to talk about, you know, we started by saying, hey, how do we create value in the conversation? That's a way for me to create value, is that we can talk about, you know, how you received the instructions. What did you feel like receiving those instructions? How can I help you? You said that net. We on live TV. The net come right in here. You know, I'm acting like I don't see him. But so I can give you an opportunity to give me that real live feedback. So I love that idea of being able to practice that and for them to have a conversation. I think for me, that's my greatest opportunity, especially with teenagers. And you know, I low-key always tell people, I love working with teenagers because you get to work less with parents, but that's neither here nor there. That's just what it is.
I understand that.
You work more with teenagers, you ain't got to work with their parents. Hey, sorry. But that space to really practice and have that dialogue is, to me, is like the golden opportunity. To your point, they receive that so well. Oh man, Mr. Charles treat me so mature. Like I love addressing them by their last names. I love, you know, just being able to have that dialogue. But I think that sort of teacher mindset is that I'm gonna give y'all something. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to practice, and I'm gonna be prepared to give you feedback and have a dialogue based on how you handle the situation. And I think that right there is a golden nugget when communicating with teenagers. Newsflash, I think it works with all ages of children. You just gotta, just like a teacher, you gotta make the lesson a little different based on the age. So, you know, with Frank, we may just talk about, hey, the emotions that came out of it. With Erica, you know, she's only 8, but her level of understanding is different, and she's so inquisitive. we put some terms around it, and she understands what therapy is, or she may understand what psychology is now, because that's just how her level is. You know, with Blake, it's kind of like, and I'm gonna mix these in for a moment. With Blake, it's like Blake need real time. He need to see it. He almost need to touch it. He don't need to get burnt, but he need to see it. So Blake need to have a real time situation where he can practice some of the stuff that I've been preaching to him, so he can see it for himself. You know, so shout out to the X for Boys Gala. My son got to participate, and Blake got a chance to see some stuff for himself. He was like, "Oh, Dad, my dad not just he ain't just blowing smoke. This really how the world is."
Yeah.
That was a great experience for him.
I think Goody Mob says it best. Life experience is the best teacher until we get our own plate.
Man, listen, man. That's a $1 million. Listen, that's a $1 million phrase right there. I ain't gonna leave Alexandra out. You know, Alexandra is the one who's absorbing and listening at all times. She's just gonna fake like she ain't heard you, but she'll be able to recite it when you leave the room.
Yeah. Well, she don't want to give that credit. You know, sometimes she finding her way too. Yeah. She finding her way now. She becoming a young adult.
She is, and don't want to you don't want to give you no credit, but she definitely will recite it.
But you know what's funny? Teenagers don't really give you credit as parents.
No, the teenagers, you know that you ever seen that the social media videos say how black parents apologize? You hungry?
Yeah.
That's what teenagers do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't gonna give you no credit. They ain't gonna give you no shout. It's just, what's up, Dad?
Yeah. And
or I'm gonna tell you what she did to me. And gave me a half-eaten American deli plate. You hungry?
Yeah,
that's a lot for a teenager.
You gotta take your wins.
I take the little half filly. Give me a little half filly.
And they, like I say, they don't give you nothing. I'm thinking about Peyton even this summer. Peyton go around telling people, "Man, my daddy rich." My daddy, I'm like, "Bro, don't do that." I'm not.
Yeah, stop telling people that.
Man.
Yeah.
Stop, man.
Yeah.
But I say something in there, it's like, okay,
yeah,
this. And even like certain things, she like, "Hey, man, my daddy gonna pick this out for me." I'm like, she like, "Yeah, my daddy got all the taste. He know how to design a house. Yeah, my daddy real." Yeah. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Okay. She talking about me like, hey, man,
gold star.
Like,
you got you a gold star.
Yeah. Because I mean, she don't share a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you have to pick their brains. Like you just have to take I think that's one thing you learn with a teenager too. You got to find joy in the smallest of things.
Because they try not to let you in. They intentionally are waking up not to let you in.
Yeah. But I think deep down inside, and that's why I even say with parenting teenagers is hard, and you have to do more. Parenting teenagers makes you have to, I guess, encourage yourself, for lack of better words, or for lack of better phrases, because they're not going to give you a lot. And those things they give you, those small tokens, you have to make those bigger than what they are. And I'm not saying they're very big to you. They're small to them, but they're huge to you, because sometimes like this wall, you want like, okay, am I breaking down this wall? And those little small tokens let you know like, I really am. Because again, they have a unique way of showing what you mean to them. And I think for sometimes as fathers, we need that. Like, and that's why I always tell, like, even, you know, me with the kids during the summer, I always tell them, hey, man, do something special for your parents. Yeah, I don't care if it's just a little meal or if it's a little gas or whatever, do something for them, because those little tokens really mean more than you'll ever know. Because I had to tell my kids something this summer. I think something happened, and we were communicating about something. And I said, I want y'all to know this. Dad got feelings too. Things hurt my feelings. Things can make me sad. They can make me cry. They can make me happy. They can make me smile. Just in general, I want you to know I have feelings. Because I think, again, sometimes our kids don't even think they have feelings. Oh, they're just dad. Dad got feelings too. Dad get hurt too. You can say the wrong thing to dad and he may not show up, but dad, he's crushed. Yeah. You know, so I wanted my kids to know that I have feelings. And I was even telling them too, like, it's okay to share with someone what they mean to you. Because we're in this culture sometimes, you know, it's with the boys, the first thing they tell you, boy, you riding. Yeah. But even telling the boys, like,
we're gonna tell you my knee dirty.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
But trying to get young black boys to say, it's nothing wrong with showing your appreciation for somebody, because they struggle with that. So again, that's that breaking down that teenage wall again. Yeah. But breaking that wall so they can learn how to communicate and to show value for other people and show them the importance of them. Because again, being a teenage parent, it ain't for the weak, boy. Yeah. It ain't for the weak.
No, it's definitely a roller coaster ride. It's just something that, you know, we got to do. Let me swing it. I'm gonna throw a little ball in there real quick. So given the summer that we've had, given how fast it's gone by, but you still had a summer of highs, give me a check-in, mental check-in. Where you at?
Mental check-in. I'm in a good space. I know we used to do a ranking of numbers.
Yeah, 1 through 10.
Right now, 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about an 8, bro.
Okay.
I would say about an 8. I'm in a good space. Like I say, phenomenal summer with the girls. I think just getting more of that time to spend with both of them is always good. I think I'm gonna say Peyton because Peyton, just getting it more that one-on-one time a lot because Mara was gone for the month of July, so again she was gone. So me and Peyton we were together for June and July, so she was with me more during the day because school is not happening. So I think that was a great piece for my summer. I think I say 8 because Mara was gone, man. I miss my baby, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I miss my baby, bro. I miss my baby being in the house hearing that noise. But I just loved having both my girls together. We moving around, just handling business, just enjoying our summer. So
do you feel some kind of way when summer started to end and people got to kind of get back in their day-to-day regimen?
I do. Yeah. I do. Because I think, man, summer just ain't long enough. But sometimes I do know we need to get back in the regular hustle and bustle. But I still, hey, summer's still too short. That's what I will say. But I've just enjoyed spending time with them and just enjoyed just that journey, man. Yeah. That journey. So I rank my summer as an 8. I think nothing short of amazing. But I miss my girls, man.
Nah,
I miss my girls, man.
For sure.
What about you, bro?
Man, listen, mentally, I'm gonna actually put myself, I think, at a 9, bro. And the only reason I'm gonna put it at a 9, I know there's always room for improvement, but I think this was a really great summer. It was a really great summer. Everybody was, everybody was there. Everybody enjoyed themselves. Everybody was safe. I don't downplay that. Like the fact that we can make it through another summer and no incidents. Everybody was unharmed. Yeah, it was a good summer, man. I ain't finna downplay it. I celebrate the day the kids go back to school. I told you that. Me and my wife go out to eat the day they go back to school. We made it through summer. Yeah. Grocery bill like they told me out. Woo, boy. Hey, boy, I'm telling you. So, but all in all, though, it's real good. I will say, I think I appreciated this summer more than I have summers in the past. Just like the one-on-one conversations, the opportunity to spend time here and there, whether it was a ride from camp, whether it was picking one kid up first and we're going to be the only ones in the car for 20 minutes. I appreciated those moments more this summer. And I think it was just how I was prepared to go into the summer and just having some other pieces in play. But overall, yeah, I'm good.
And see, it's crazy you even said that, going back into the summer. I think this would be a summer, too, for me with, much like you just said, a summer of intentionality. It just seemed like I was more intentional this summer about, like, okay, how do I do the most with the least amount of time? Because I can even remember us getting in the car every day saying, how was your day? And I hear Mark saying, you going first, Peyton? I went first yesterday.
Yeah. So they ready.
But they want to tell. But Marvin would always get in the car like, Daddy, let me tell you about the drama.
Yeah.
Because, I want some drama. I like the mess, but I don't like to be in the mess.
Yeah, Fox 5, she did it.
Yeah, she like, that was her line. I like the mess, but I don't like to be in the mess.
That's good. That's good.
But I had to learn this. I said, that's little girls in general. Because Peyton was kind of the same way. She liked the mess. She wanted to put her in the mess. But I don't want to be in the mess.
I like reality TV. I just want to turn it on. I don't want to be in it.
Yeah. But I just love that because, too, I got to see them let their hair down. And I think sometimes, too, even within that, girls put up a different level of, I guess they show up different with dad than they do with mom.
Ooh, that's a whole episode.
Because sometimes they're like, man, that's daddy. Daddy be.
Daddy creates space.
Yeah. Daddy creates space, but daddy just sometimes, too, like, that's daddy. Like, boy, I got the. Mom sometimes let you just rock out a little bit. See, dad going, hey, we gonna straighten it up in there. But I think just allowing them to slowly open up to say, okay, this. Because I was like, man, them understand too, okay, I see dad ain't. Sometimes as serious as I think dad is.
That's the evolution of your parenting, because now you get to see your communication at work. Yeah. You've been teaching. Yeah. Now you got to create space. And ultimately, we all, whether we want to or not, like your kid go off to college, you can't tell them what to do. No. So we got to create space now to see how they're going to respond and react. So we know what they made of. So we know whether they can go to school out of state or we just need to be going to try and send them to their local school because we don't need them wreck out and crash out.
I'm trying to groom mine, man. She want to go to University of Miami. I'm trying to make it happen, bro, because I want to move. I want to go ahead and move to
Hey,
Miami.
well, you been
man.
wanting to go South Beach. That's
Yeah,
your retirement
yeah,
destination.
man. So hey,
Yeah,
man, hopefully we got to go and get together,
man,
baby.
we got to get
together, baby.
We need a scholarship,
Yeah,
baby.
we got to get us a scholarship.
Yeah, man. We need to get us a scholarship. But all in all, man, I think we talked about it. I think that was a good one on communication. Would you add anything? Any last bits? Or you think we hit it?
No, I think we hit. And I think the only thing I would just say to parents is just continue walking in the right direction, man. I know it gets hard, and especially raising boys. Sometimes you just don't know if they get it, but just be consistent. If you don't have the support, find people, find that village. Allow people to help you through the process. Understand, parenting, it takes a village. Put good people around your kids and allow them to assist with this process. Trust the process, and definitely you definitely got to align with some level of spirituality. That's all I can tell you, because again, you're gonna need faith, and this ain't for the weak. And some of those difficult moments actually build you up for some of the most beautiful moments too during this process too. Because some of my most difficult times have actually been some of the biggest blessings ever.
Man, listen, I'm just gonna put one cherry on the top. You got to be you have to be what you want them to be. And you got to, when it comes to this communication thing, you need to model to them. You can't expect for them to have contained, well thought out, well framed conversation with people if all you ever do is curse at them.
Yeah.
If all you ever do is fuss at them and put them down, you can't expect that their communication skills will be at a certain level. And so there's that opportunity for you as a parent. You got to make sure that your communication skills are in a place if you want theirs to grow and to develop. If you want to communicate with them, you got to create space to communicate with them, and just model what it is you want them to see. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there, man. That's another episode for the Firm Podcast. Until next time.